Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. Nick here, Manager Director at Verta Property Group. So today I'm going to speak you through the Quayline development in the Wirral, Liverpool. So brand new launch for us, 90 units in total across 6 blocks, 1 and 3 bedroom apartments, 10 to 12 minutes from the city centre, depending if you're driving or getting public transport, and prices from just shy of £150,000. So as I mentioned, development's called the Quayline. It's in the Wirral Waters, so that's just over the River Mersey from Liverpool city centre. For those that don't know, starting price 149,794 for 1 bedroom apartments. Rental yield 6.5 to 11.2% net, depending if you're doing a long-term rental contract or operating the short-term let model. For example, listing on Airbnb and Booking.com. And delivery is expected in Q2 2028. So, where's the development? It's located just here. This side is Liverpool city centre. So this whole area is being regenerated by a developer called the Peel Group. So it's called Wirral Waters. So if you Google Wirral Waters, you'll see how much is going into here. But it's a mega scheme, £4.5 billion worth of regen, major brands going into the area. So it's a really exciting time. And we're just starting to see the premium developments come to market now. So here's a shot of the block. So you can see a couple here, and then they actually circle round to the back just over here as well. So this is the water. And as you can see, low rise to fit in with the local community, lovely finish. And it's going to be really nice being able to walk along here once the whole program is finished. Here's another shot here of the site. So these developments are built out now. They're actually award-winning and they're 100% occupied. This is a new development as well. They've got some lovely free beds here going from upwards of £345,000. And then we've got our development, which sits in this site here. And then it's going to come along just parallel to this site here, just below this car park. So it's kind of like a large L shape. So block F and E tend to be the most desirable blocks, but we do have a series available. Cool. So why does this matter? As I mentioned, this is a mega redevelopment program, 500 acres, waterfront community, £4.5 billion of worth of regeneration, 13,000 homes coming in, 20,000 jobs expected to be created, and it's being done by the Peel Group. That's important because they're the guys that are doing Liverpool Waters, Manchester Waters. They did Media City UK, BBC and ITV moved into their offices after that was finished, and values shot up. But it's a major developer, and the fact that they're doing the master community is really important to us. As I said, it's a really convenient location. You can nip over and you're in Liverpool city centre within a matter of minutes, but you're kind of out from the chaos. And the fundamentals of the investment are it's a waterfront development, major employment growth, huge tenant demand on the long let and short let market. We've got all the projections, we've got all the forecasts, and of course, Liverpool itself. Everyone knows Liverpool performs well. If you look at Hometrack data, it's currently the #1 performing residential investment market in the country in terms of capital appreciation. If you look at what Savills are forecasting over the next 4 or 5 years to 2030, just under 30% capital appreciation for the region. So big opportunity here. This gives you another shot, another angle. So this is actually developed. These CGI images were slightly different, but you can see where it sits and how this will be really attractive. And then you've got the Liverpool city centre over here. Cool. So the developer, in terms of the specific development, it's a JV between Quayline and Foreshore. Now, they're very experienced developers, years and years of experience, 1,600 resi units delivered, and they've got a major track record, which is really helpful. Then, as I touched on earlier, we've got the Peel Group there. They've done major communities, and we've got the evidence of the values increasing based on that. Wirral Waters, David Lloyd complex up for approval. So this is expected to be approved this week. Major community hub, a leisure centre. And for those that know the David Lloyd brand, this is quite a big deal because they typically only go into premium high demand locations. So this gives you an idea of what's expected in the years to come. And remember, the idea of this investment is to get in early, get in before all the regeneration takes place, because that's where you're going to see the most aggressive capital appreciation. As I've touched on, 91 and 3-bedroom apartments, short-term let approved, really important for us to drive up higher rental yields. That's written in the lease, 999-year lease, no ground rent. And I'm not going to read all through this, but yeah, it's a lovely little development, not too high, nice finish expected, neutral colours throughout, decent specification, prominent position. As you can see the views here. It's got a lot going for it, especially from 150 grand. Here's another internal shot. So the units themselves, the returns when you take into account service charges, management fees from the one beds, you can get 6.5% net return, gross yield just shy of 8%. On the short-term let market, gross yield just over 17.5%, net yield just over 11.2%. This is at the entry-level pricing of phase one, including utilities, service charges, etc. So, yeah, we've worked with various short-term let local management companies and operators. We own a company called Wirral Lettings, which manages itself, and on the back end has 500 units managed nationwide. So we can look after the long lets, or we've got a couple of companies that can do the short-term let management for you. So don't forget, it's all completely done for you. It's a hands-off, fully managed, remote investment. So it's stress-free, and you simply have the income come into your bank account every month. Cool. Here's a nice internal shot here of one of the smaller units. But as you can see, this is going to be an ideal for a couple working in the city centre, or perhaps a single person. And then the 3 beds are going to be more so for perhaps a small family. Here's the development next door that I mentioned earlier. As you can see, there's still a bit of work to be done up front, but this gives you an idea of what to expect. You know, looking out the window, sitting on the terrace, going for walks, etc., etc. And as I say, there's areas of this region which are still relatively industrial, but that's exactly why we're investing here, guys, because you don't get these rental yields, you don't get these prices, and you're not going to get the same capital appreciation if you were to invest in an area which has already seen major expansion 10 years ago. So this is the capital growth play that we're going for. Now, in terms of booking and reservations, £5,000 to secure your unit. We'll take your AML documents. Solicitors are instructed. 20% is due on exchange of contracts. Nothing else until completion. Just to touch on that very quickly, guys, it's often overlooked in off-plan investing, but what you're putting in here is 20%, right? So if you're getting a 150 grand unit, you're £30,000 into the deal. If Liverpool grows by 20% over the next 2 years, including the construction value uplift and the natural market momentum, then you've only put in £30,000, but the value 20% uprise has been on the £150,000, which would be a £30,000 uplift. So you've put in 30,000 during that 2-year period. You've done nothing, but you've made £30,000 in equity. So you've actually made a 100% return on cash invested amount. So keep that in mind. A lot of people think, I don't want to wait for the income. I don't want to wait. I don't want to have to wait for the income, etc. But your money is going to work for you now. And where else are you going to get 100% return on cash invested figure in 2 years? Even if you're more conservative and you don't, think it will uplift by much, even if it does 10%, that's still £15,000. So you're still in for a 50% return on cash invested profit in 2 years. Cool. So we can help with mortgages, property management, everything you need. We'll handle start to finish, accountant, solicitors, etc., etc. So just reach out to us and then we'll help. What happens to my deposit? Well, your deposit is sent to the solicitor, drip fed to the developer during the construction period. Maslow Capital are providing the development finance on this building. The reason we mention that is because they are a major lender. They have lent billions to big developers across the UK. Have a Google of these guys. They have conducted extensive due diligence on this development and developer. So if they're confident, then it's a very, very good sign indeed. Is rental demand sufficient? Yes. I mean, to be honest, in the UK, given the housing crisis, if you're renting a decent property in a city centre, then you're always going to have rental demand. But you can do research on Rightmove, AirDNA, speak to local companies. There's no doubt about it that there will be high demand for units. And don't forget, we've just had hundreds of units handed over next door, which are 100% occupied. So keep that in mind as well. Hands off. Yes, I've mentioned that already, but we'll take care of everything. Never have to visit, never have to, deal with any major issues. We'll ensure you're supported from start to finish. Is it suitable for overseas and first-time investors? Yes. As I say, we're here to help you choose your unit, introduce you to solicitors, accountants if needed, mortgages if needed, property management, furnishing, etc., etc. Zero buyer fees, robust due diligence, early stage access, and end-to-end support. These are the reasons why you would use a company like ours, and basically have a dedicated point of contact from start to finish. We've done this hundreds and thousands of times. We help investors from Nigeria, Turkey, Hong Kong, Singapore, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Saudi, obviously European investors, and then obviously domestic British investors as well. So we know what we're doing. Speak to your consultant who should have sent you this information, or if you found it online, just drop me a message through the details below, and we look forward to speaking soon. If you want unit recommendations, full financial forecasts, any other questions that you have, just reach out to us and we'll be glad to assist. But thanks for your time today, guys. This was designed to be a quick snapshot overview. Hopefully it provides some context. Cheers.